What's up, guys? My name's Dylan. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the obstacle behind me called the Salmon Ladder. Don't forget to like and subscribe because this content is completely free. And let's get into the video. Just a quick shout out to Sophie Ninja for the suggestion for today's video. Now, if you've never done Ninja Warrior before, Salmon Ladder is going to be a really difficult obstacle to learn. But there are some skills that you might have learned in rock climbing or CrossFit that's going to be super easy to use on the Salmon Ladder. It's a move that we're going to learn about today called a Dino. First off, I'll show you guys what the Salmon Ladder actually looks like, and then we'll dive into it. So when you go on the Salmon Ladder, you're going to take the bar with both hands, usually in a switch grip, and go up to the next board. Now, this move looks really simple if you've seen somebody that knows how to do it correctly, but doing it incorrectly is going to be a really difficult process. For a while, my Salmon Ladder kind of looked like this, and it took a little while to learn how to do the movement correctly, but it ended up eventually looking like this. Now, the first thing I'd recommend if you want to try and do the Salmon Ladder is that you got to have pretty good pull-up strength. Not just a few pull-ups in a row, but having a quick pull-up. Working on pull-ups, simply you're going to try and get your chin to that bar as soon as possible. Now, that movement can be pretty tricky if you've never done pull-ups before, but I'll show you how we're going to be able to use our legs to help us pull up. Now, to use our legs, we're going to use a motion called a kip. A kip, we're basically going to go onto the bar with just a little bit of swing. Now, when we come back, we're going to drive our knees up. While we drive our knees up, we're going to try and pull on that bar, just like that. It'll kind of look like a butterfly pull-up or a CrossFit pull-up. To try and do this one like a Salmon Ladder, instead of just pulling up on the bar, we're going to try and pull up, let go with our hands, and grab back onto the bar, just like we're using a Salmon Ladder. Now, I'll show you guys it from the side. Learning how to do this swing is going to be a little bit tricky, but it's going to help immensely on the Salmon Ladder. So when we go onto the bar, we're going to let those feet go right behind us. From there, all we're going to do is we're going to push our hips and drive our knees up. Hips and knees. Hips and knees. It's going to be a little tricky because you're probably used to kicking forward with your legs. But you don't want to kick forward. You want to come back and go knees on the back swing. Now, as we move back to the Salmon Ladder, we're going to try and do this motion, but with the Salmon Ladder bar. Now, you got to make sure that you're holding the bar correctly. Now, usually when we swing on a bar, we just put our arms out to shoulder width. Now, on a Salmon Ladder bar, it's a little bit tricky. I'm going to use this pipe here to show you. Instead of just using your hands out, what you're going to try and do is get your hands slightly wider than normal, and I'd recommend using a switch grip. Now, from here, I like to have my right hand back. Some people like to have their left hand back. It doesn't matter. Up to you. It's personal preference. Now, once you know how to grip the Salmon Ladder bar correctly, we're going to go up, but this time we're going to try and use our legs and pop that bar off the rungs. It's called a Salmon Ladder bar slam. So we come up from here, driving those knees up, and just pushing that bar. Now, one drill that can help us get used to actually moving the bar is having the Salmon Ladder as low as you can where your feet can still touch the ground. Now, all we're going to do is grab the bar and let our hips push us forward and back with our feet staying still on the mat. This is going to get us used to the timing of when we actually need to move the bar up. So all you're going to do is try and keep your feet planted onto the mat, push your hips going back, pull that bar up to get up to the next rung. So going hips forward, hips back, pull down, and up. And you can practice that move as many times as you need to get used to actually moving the bar. One tricky part is that a lot of people don't have very good bar control. It's hard to get it up to the other one and keep the bar even. From there, all you're going to do is when you go up to the next rung, pick your feet up off the ground. Now, all you're going to do is try all of those steps without putting your feet on the ground. We're going to go from the first rung. We're going to drive our knees up as we come back and pull up the arms. Now, one thing I recommend practicing is your dinos. Dinos are going to be when we're driving our knees up and throwing our hands from one thing to the other. So we're going to head on over to the devil steps. So to do our dino over here, we're going to drive our knees and pull our hands to throw ourselves up from one board to the other. Now, I'd recommend before you hit the Salmon Ladder to practice these dinos until you're able to go up and skip a board. Now, other than being able to do a pull-up, learning how to do a kip and a dino is going to be one of the hardest parts about learning how to do the Salmon Ladder. Just remember, though, it might take a little bit of time, but learning how to do the basics to do the Salmon Ladder is going to make it much easier in the end. I've seen people be able to do it by just doing a big pull-up, but eventually, once you get higher up on the Salmon Ladder, your arms are going to get tired. Learning how to do that kip and dino is going to make the Salmon Ladder super easy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below what obstacle you want to see next. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something today about the salmon ladder. Peace.